So we actually talked about this a little bit yesterday, but sine is actually the same as which ordered pair value? Remember, it's the y value. So sine and the y value are the same. So if we look at this, right, the sine of 60 degrees, sine of 60 degrees was radical 3 over 2. Cosine is actually the same as the x value, right? Because if we took the cosine of 60 degrees, we got 1/2, which is the x value of the ordered pairs. So how can you get tangent from the two ordered pairs? Well, if you just take tangent of any theta is actually just the sine value divided by the cosine value, okay? Or you can say the tangent of theta is equal to y over x if we're talking about the ordered pairs. So these are very important to consider moving forward, okay? Keeping these things in mind, in what quadrant is sine always going to be positive? Okay, so sine is always going to be positive in this first quadrant because the first quadrant is going up, and then it's always going to be positive in the second quadrant because both of these top two quadrants are going up. So in quadrant 1 and quadrant 2, sine is always positive. In which quadrant is cosine positive? Well, looking back at our circle, what are the x values positive? Well, they're going to be positive in the first quadrant, and they're going to be positive in the last quadrant, which is the fourth quadrant, right? Because x is 1/2 here, x is also 1/2 there. So the first and fourth quadrants are positive cosine. And then in which quadrant is tangent positive? Tangent is going to always be positive in this first quadrant, right? Because if we take tangent is always just y over x. So a positive divided by a positive gives us a positive. So that's what the first quadrant looks like. The last quadrant, we have a negative not the last quadrant, the third quadrant right here, we have negative divided by negative, right? If we had y over x, which this would equal a positive. So then in the first and the third quadrants, tangent is positive. The special memory device for this is a couple different things. My preferred memory device is all students take calculus, sorry, spelling. So this is the first quadrant, all of them are positive. The second quadrant, only sine is positive. The third quadrant, in the third quadrant, only tangent is positive. And then in the last quadrant, or the fourth quadrant, only cosine is positive. So this is a special memory device to tell you what is positive. So all of them are positive in the first quadrant. Sine is the only one positive in the second quadrant. Tangent is the only one in the third quadrant. And then cosine is the only one in the last quadrant, guys. So it all is dependent on the first letter. If you guys think of any fun, cool, creative ones to do this for memorizing the positive ones, please let me know. I'd love to know some other ones that you guys might like. Okay, so knowing that, whenever we do these questions, guys, I kind of just left a blank unit circle. I really want you guys to fill this out. Okay, this is for you to kind of fill out and look at all of them and know how to fill this out, because that's going to be something that is super helpful for when we ask you a bunch of different questions. Okay, so if you guys have any questions on this stuff, please let me know. As always, left hand rule, I'll have to videotape myself doing that so that you guys can actually see that. I want to talk about one other thing today. Actually, you know what? I'll just wait till tomorrow. So that's all the notes for today, guys. I would practice filling this out. this is going to be super helpful, right? Know that your first one is 30 degrees. Know that the next one is 45 degrees. Know that the last one is 60 degrees. What are the x and y values at each of these points, right? These are the kind of things that you need to know really well to do well in the unit circle section, which is all of the rest of this unit basically. Okay, we're just going to deal with a lot of things inside the unit circle. So I would try to fill this out on your own. Yeah, all right, have a great rest of your day.